Chris. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. We are here at your home, your lovely home. And we were talking about Echo. But first off, let's talk about what you do there. What's your role at Echo?
So my official title is VP of Strategy. And like any startup, we all wear lots of hats. That basically means that I try to track the trends in the business and product space, figure out what's the most significant thing going on, and make sure that we're heading in that direction at any given time. So,
and when you say trends in blogging, in content, and what particular?
It could be anything. It could be cultural trends, product trends, business trends. Who's the next new hot startup? What is the current hot startup doing next? What do the publishers and our customers want?
And how they can use Echo.
And how Echo can evolve to better meet their needs, and how can that can turn into actionable product direction or business direction. And then I translate all of that hard work into actually communicating what we've done to our customers in our community as well.
And before, I know we've talked before about like some of your past stuff you've done, but what are some of the tech web type stuff that you've done in the past that kind of have got you ready for this?
Yeah, so I used to run an interactive radio show back home, a national interactive show where people would be interacting with us in real time, and we'd be surfacing the best content on live.
Close to my heart.
Yeah, and then I launched an attention management company where we would profile people's interests and give them a sense of what they're interested in, and then filter content based on that. And then that led me to launch a thing called data portability, because it was very much about how does a user own their content and their information, and how do they port that from one place to another. So I'm probably best known for having co-founded Data Portability, which is a kind of a user advocacy group.
And where's that now?
It's running itself now. There's a steering group and another chairman, and it's it's continuing to tell the story about user rights, privacy, and data ownership.
Before we go forward and talk about Echo, I want to go backwards and talk about Radioactive that you mentioned. It's kind of a radio thing. It was democratizing content in a way, right?
Right.
Just talk a little bit more about how you kind of worked with the users of the show.
Yeah. Well, it was back in '99 when podcasting and all that sort of stuff was, I don't even think it existed yet. Certainly Dig Nation didn't exist, but the closest analog now would be Dig Nation, right? It was an interactive community website where the audience would contribute the content they cared about. They'd discuss in the forums, they'd submit articles, they'd join the chat room. And then the 2-hour live on radio show was essentially a summary of what had happened on the site that week. And then during the show, it was also very interactive. So we would be in the chat room chatting and whatever. This all seems passé now. It's like this happens all the time. But in '99, it was kind of revolutionary for our audience. And we would literally like pull songs off the air. If we had a consensus in the chat room that the song sucked,
that's awesome,
we'd just pull the song on a real radio station. So our audience loved it. It was really
I know. Like nowadays, there's like a radio station that says they're like, oh, you can pick the songs you want to hear on the.
And you get like 5 songs, and you got to pick one.
And you're like, and you hope, when's that going to turn up? I don't know. I didn't hear it. Okay, let's talk about Echo for a minute.
Sure.
You can give me the short version of what it is, and then I'm going to delve down some questions.
Okay. So we were known for a lot of different things, widgets and comments, but really Echo today is a provider of what I would call a real-time database in the cloud. So if you think of Facebook and Twitter and Quora and Foursquare, they've all spent millions of dollars building this kind of real-time infrastructure to capture status updates in millions and billions of status updates and serve them to millions of users in real time. So as it happens, the page updates without refreshing. So that's expensive infrastructure to build. It takes a lot of time, and only if you're a cool Silicon Valley company can you really pull it off. And so what we've done is we've taken that core infrastructure of Facebook and Twitter and Quora and made it a service, real-time as a service. And that means our publishers, our customers, who are tier 1 media companies, startups and brands and agencies, can turn it on like you turn on EC2 and build a real-time application on top. Real-time chat, real-time comments, forums, polls.
Right, so it was born out of a JS Kit, right? Is that true? Is it the same company, really, basically?
Yeah, it was called JS Kit, and it's now called Echo.
Right, and that was simply just commenting on websites and aggregating that content, comments only. And now this is everything. You just mentioned chat. I guess I wasn't aware that it was that as well.
Well, we're really just...
Give you whatever it wants.
We're real-time as a service, so you can submit data at high volume. We store and index that data, and then we can serve it up in real time to thousands of millions of users. So what you build with that is entirely up to your creativity. Sure, you could build a commenting system, and incidentally, it would be a very customized, very personalized commenting system, right? It wouldn't be one size fits all. You know, Facebook Comments just announced their comment system, which is a fantastic solution if you're in the long tail, you're a blogger, you don't really care about the business of publishing, you're happy to send your traffic and your branding to Facebook. It's actually a great product. But if you're a tier 1 company like an ESPN or a Washington Post, Interscope,
totally.
Reuters, it doesn't make sense for them to outsource their community to another company.
They want to keep everything inside and then work with their own data, basically.
Right, and that's what. So our customers, when they deploy an Echo commenting system, they don't announce we've installed Echo. They announce we've built a new commenting system, right?
Right.
And Echo is not involved in the picture at all. We're just infrastructure.
Yeah, it's best if you're not seeing it because then it's working, right? It's like
right, exactly.
They're doing what they wanted to launch.
Right, and comments is, as I said, is just one very small use case where we have customers building live streams and forums and live blogging and you name it. Anything that's digesting lots of data and serving it up in real time. And it's not just social media data, it's data that the publisher may already have locked up in their own site.
Right. People have mentioned like it's basically, aggregating and repurposing content that you already have, right? So the site already has it. Explain to me what you think that makes it special when they can take the same content they have across all the different sites and kind of repurpose it. Like what's the special part of that?
So if you think about it, a tier 1 website like a Reuters has a lot of activity going on the site, right? People are viewing pages, they're rating stories, they're following journalists, they're playing videos, right? This is a lot of social activity that is actually not being socialized, right? It's being lost or it's being counted or it's in some analytics dashboard somewhere. If they could capture that and surface it, Chris Saar just played the video Desperate Housewives behind the scenes.
Did you really?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Yes, you did.
Damn, I should have picked
you could have picked anything else.
I could have picked Lost or
This is not going in the outtakes, this is in the actual
This is in the actual interview. All right,
keep going.
But, so it's like, it's all of this activity that is kind of dissipating and not being caught. And only the stuff that the user shares to Facebook, which is like, 1% of activity happening on the site. I just made that number up. But whatever small percent of stuff the user chooses to share with Facebook is a small fraction of what's happening on that site. So the idea would be capture all of that activity, mix it in with tweets and Facebook status updates and Foursquare check-ins, mix it all into one giant real-time database, and then create real-time experiences out of it, right?
Yeah, that's my question. I guess that's where I get left off and kind of confused on. What would be some of those examples of real-time experiences?
Sure. Because
I get the idea that you can combine all that information, but then what do we do with it? What does Sports Illustrated do with it once they have it?
It depends. So like a news site I'll give you some examples of what we've seen in the wild. So one very simple example is they create a query, because our system is all queryable. You query the data out in various views. You could say, show me all items across the entire domain. And you just get a real-time stream of this user just shared on Twitter, this user just commented, this user just published, this user just rated. And what you're seeing there is the lifeblood of the website, stuff that was once invisible.
Right.
And so you're able to say, oh wow, there's a lot of activity around this article, there's a lot of people sharing this thing.
So it sounds like market research.
Yeah, but you're showing your end users. So your end user can say, oh, Chris Saar just rated this object, and so did 5 other people. Maybe there's something interesting going on there. So what was once an intellectual exercise, which is, oh, I'm on this website and I'm assuming 1,000 other people are, it's now an experience. It's like, I'm on this website and I can see 1,000 other people. So that's just one example.
I mean, Facebook like button kind of started that trend almost in a way. Like you go to a website and you're like, oh, a bunch of other people that I know like this thing.
Like this, right? Yeah,
so
exactly. And
a stronger version of that. Because
yeah, but you could do likes as well, but plays, ratings, reviews, comments.
Whatever else you can put in the database.
Yeah.